What's up everyone, it's Hyper. I quickly want to start this video off by saying thank you so much for 800 followers on Twitch. That's just such a mind-boggling number. I still just I cannot wrap my head around that. It's just insane. But to celebrate that, I will be doing a Lego building stream tomorrow actually, May 1st at 8:30 p.m. EST to celebrate this milestone, so make sure to head over there and check it out and come say hi, drop a follow. If you're watching this after May 1st, I'll be uploading a highlights video. So if it's not already up, stay tuned for that so you can get a nice recap. Or if you just want to rewatch the entire stream, head over to my VOD channel. The link is in the description and you can watch the entire full unedited stream there if that's what you want to do. But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and get into this story. And this was an experience. I'm able to look back at this and laugh, but in the moment, it was rough. So I think this all happened about a year ago. Me and my dad and my brother decided that it would be fun to go backpacking, which for those who don't know, is where you go hiking in the woods and you hike up to your campsite where you stay the night with nothing but what you have in your backpack. So it's basically like a primitive camping style, and it's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend trying it out if you can. But you have to go out to like streams and stuff to collect water, bring freeze-dried meals, and sleep in a small tent, or in my case, a hammock. But anyways, we get to the Parks Visitor Center, which is where you park your car, you pay for your site, and then you get any extra supplies you need. So we end up getting some water bottles, check in, and we go ahead and start our trek. In this park, there are multiple different hiking loops. I think 2, maybe 3, each with different campsites attached. So when you pay for the night, you get a specific campsite, so you have to go to your own campsite. So we took a look at the map and then we start heading along the trail towards our campsite. Now this isn't some quick little trail and then you're there. No, this is a 5-mile hike on mountainous terrain. There were so many uphill sections on the trail. It was like they just did it on purpose to make us suffer. If I remember correctly, it was about a 5-mile loop. I could be wrong about that. So we were walking for quite a while, just looking for our campsite. We eventually get to a map that was posted along the trail. And at this point, we had walked around 3 to 4 miles of the loop, and we still had not found our campsite. So we took a look at that map, and we all just stared at each other. Because it turns out we had walked on the wrong trail for 3 to 4 miles. The wrong trail. Like I said, there are 3 trails, and we had walked on the wrong one, 4 miles. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind a bit of walking. Like, you can get over that, but it's starting to get dark. And the actual trail we were supposed to go on is 6 miles. And turns out it's basically all uphill. So we just had to keep walking at that point if we wanted to get there in time to be able to set up and get everything that we need to get done before it gets dark. So we finally make the treacherous journey up that hill and we get to our campsite. It was a pretty uneventful hike. I mean, 6 miles of hiking in the woods uphill. Not much more to it. So we finally get to our site. It's a wooded area at the top of the mountain with like just a giant open grass field next to it. There's like an outhouse, and then there's like a bear safe container thing to store any food so bears don't invade your campsite, because there are bears in this park. So you just want to be safe because you don't want to get eaten at night, obviously. So the first thing we had to do was go collect some water from a nearby stream, and we brought the water back up. We cleaned it using a water filter thing we had, and then we got a fire started. We set up tents and our hammocks, and once all that was done, we finally ate some food. And this is after like multiple hours of hiking, so we were pretty hungry. We put up all of our stuff for the night at about 11, 12-ish, and then we go ahead and try to go to sleep. I just sit on my phone for an hour maybe and watch some movies I downloaded on Netflix for the night. Then I eventually fall asleep, and then my hammock shakes. I hear noises around our campsite. I have no idea what's going on. I'm half asleep, but I check my watch. It's about 3 in the morning, and then I hear my dad. He's trying to wake me up, me and my brother up, and like I said, I'm half asleep, so I was like really confused in what's going on because it's really early in the morning. So I just kind of lay back down and try to go back to sleep. And then he says, "There's a storm rolling in. We have to pack up and leave as soon as possible." And I'm just sitting there staring back, just hoping I heard him incorrectly. But then he starts getting a bit more anxious, looking up at the sky and telling my brother and I to get up. So that's when I realized he was serious, and we actually had to get up at 3 a.m., hike 6 miles down a mountain. So we get up soon after that and start packing everything up. And thankfully it hadn't started raining yet, but it was still pitch black, so we could not see anything at all other than with like the flashlights and headlamps that we brought. So we were just trying to pack up as quickly as possible with the little light that we had. And once we finished packing, we started heading back down the 6-mile trail to our car. I bet now, I'm sure you realize that we were in the wilderness. We're out in the woods, and that means that there are wild animals such as bears, as I mentioned earlier. So once we get near the end of the trail, we see some eyes just staring back at us. And when you're that tired and you see something scary, it's very hard to just rationalize it. So I'm just terrified at whatever that thing could be. It could be a deer, it could be a bear. For all I know, it could be Slenderman. Whatever it was, it just stared. And that wouldn't be a big deal if it wasn't blocking the path we had to go down. And then especially once it starts moving towards us. So we quickly look around to see if there's any other way. There's another path behind us, so we just take that one and continue heading back. My dad grabs a stick and then he just starts hitting against the fence that lines the trail to like keep animals and bears away. My brother and I start yelling. At that point, it had started to drizzle, so it wasn't like pouring rain yet, but it was still like not ideal. It was around 4 or 5 a.m. at that point. But we had made it to the car. We'd finally made it, or so we thought. We got in the car, and it had started pouring at that point. The storm had finally arrived, and it brought with it heavy rain and lightning. Once we were in the car, we started heading towards the park exit so we could get home. And when we got to that exit, there's a gate. And that gate is locked until 8 a.m. And that meant we had to stay another 3 to 4 hours in our car. That was probably the worst part about the entire thing, because it was so humid and hot in that car. The windows were fogged and we were all sweating. It was, ugh. Look, waking up at 3 a.m. and hiking 6 miles is one thing. Trying to sleep in a hot, steamy car? No. No thanks. I'll pass. But 8 o'clock had finally arrived and we were finally free at last. I hope you all enjoyed that story. If you made it to the end, comment bear in the comments. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.